But now hold that out of the way. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics.
Let's do it.
They get a convincing Game 4 victory to not get swept. Congratulations. Is there any chance they can come back and win 4 straight games to end the Miami Heat season? Do we actually think that's possible? Because when I look at this series, the Boston Celtics ebb and flow too much to be that one team that's going to consistently outperform the Miami Heat. I think there will be a team one day to do it. And when you look at the history of higher favored seeds going down 3-0, the Celtics have a better chance, in theory, than any other team before of making the impossible possible. But I don't think they actually have the parts in place.
Man, so I don't know if you guys know this, but do you know who was sitting in the crowd in Game 4 in the TD Garden? Brandon, you know where I'm going?
Yes. A-Rod and Jeter.
Alex Rodriguez and
they
Derek
blew
Jeter.
the 3-0.
And as much as it pains me to say, but they were a part of the 04 New York Yankees who were up 3-0 in the ALCS against the Boston Red Sox when the Red Sox came and had probably the most insane postseason run to break a long 80-plus year curse. Now, it's funny. They were in the crowd. I'm just building this up for no reason because, no, I don't think Boston has a chance. At least not this time around. I think Miami is just too tough of a team. And we've seen that through games 1, 2, and 3, just how tough Miami can be. So they take advantage of a game where Miami shoots 25% from 3 and Boston shoots, 40% from 3? And that was the difference in the game. Boston knocked down their open looks. They had better shots, and they made them. That's unlike what they were doing in games 1, 2, and 3. They won't shoot 40% from 3 again. Maybe Boston at most can steal one more and force it to Game 6, but even that I feel is unlikely. I think Miami's just been too good this postseason for anybody to assume that they're going to lose 3-4 straight. I can't see it happening. I'm going to go with Miami. I think the series ends tonight.
Oh, but first off, FLB, there will be no slander about Miley Cyrus in the chatter on this show, all right? It's my homegirl. That's first off. Let's get to the Celtics Heat. Bam playing like he has CTE. I'll get to that. So Justin kind of spoke on a couple of things there about Game 4. What I saw in a nutshell was the game was the Celtics made 10 more threes than the Miami Heat, 18-8. And to a lesser extent, Miami had 5 more turnovers than the Boston Celtics. A couple of uncharacteristic ones even late into the game. So that to me was really like the catalyst to why we lost Game 4. When you only make 8 threes and the other team's making 18, and then you throw on top of that, you're making careless turnovers late, and you lead the turnover battle by or you lose the turnover battle by +5. That's a recipe for, losing the game. And then you throw on top of that Kyle Lowry shooting pretty bad. There's apparently, rumors out there that this guy is being held together by like basically a string. Like his body is really, really breaking down on him, and he's just out there guts and glory, baby. He's giving it everything he's got. And hell, for 36 years old, I think, for those miles on his legs and the way he plays, which is tough physical basketball, he's giving it all he's got. You got
37 nowadays.
37. You got our boy FLB Romaine said in the chat, Bam was unaggressive. He got into foul trouble early in the first half. He had 3 before the half. That's not a recipe for success. And on top of that, Gabe Vincent had 3 before the half. That's 2 of your second best player on the team and one of your major contributors to this playoff run being in foul trouble early in the game. And then not to mention Gabe Vincent late in the game in the fourth quarter tweaks his ankle. I know everybody in that stadium arena and even his bench gave a huge wince of like, oh God, no, this is not good. But they're saying it was just a tweak. He was able to come back in the game. So I'm hoping, it's okay. Obviously traveling on a plane when you tweak your ankle is not good because the pressure's up there and it's going to balloon up more, but hopefully they ice it. They treat it well and he's able to play. I kind of expect him to play tonight. And like you said, Bam was unaggressive in the first half. He had not in the first, but he had 7 shots in the entire game. See that you can have 3 fouls early, in the first half. I think he picked his 4th one up in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. but you still got to be aggressive when you're in the game, offensively at least. Like defensively, you can't really be because you don't want to pick up that next foul. But when you're offensively, we've seen Bam. John, what have I said on the show? The best Bam is an aggressive Bam, and we didn't get that. And then on top of that, Duncan Robinson was not used effectively, in my opinion, throughout that entire game. After 2 games in a row of them finally finding something, of using the cutting actions, seeing him, using him more than just a handoff dribble, handoff picks for 3-pointers. We go away from that. Like, why are we going away from what was working very effectively? You were getting easy buckets in the lane, getting Duncan Robinson easy looks at the cup, making it easier for him to make his 3-point shots. And we go away from that. And I think he went over, if I'm not mistaken. He might have made a 1 shot.
He wasn't over.
So I just need for game 4. For game 5. I really don't expect us to shoot that bad from 3 again. It was a pretty bad night for us. I expect Bam to be more aggressive. I expect Gabe Vincent, hopefully not to get in early foul trouble. I expect Kyle Lowry to make his shots. And I expect Eric Spoelstra to go back into the lab, create a better game plan, or not even create a better game plan, just do what you did do for the first 3 games. We kind of got away from that. Like, there was a little bit of maybe, I don't ever want to say this about a Miami Heat team led by Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, and Jimmy Butler, but there was a little bit of a lackadaisical effort, and that can't be. And I think Eric Spoelstra kind of did sum it up in the post game, where he was like, we had open shots, we missed them, unforced errors. And he spoke, if you listen to it, he spoke so confidently about it that I feel like he's just like, and Jimmy, you saw Jimmy smiling in the 4th quarter late in the game when they were down a lot. I actually do think that this team understands and realizes what they did wrong. They're going to go to Boston and they're going to correct their errors. And as long as they play their brand of basketball to the highest level with the highest effort and energy, the sky's the limit, because we were just up 3-0 on the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. That was in the championship game last year. So I'm not super. So back to your original question, John, can the Celtics do the impossible? I agree with you that they have probably the best chance of doing it right now because of the Miami Heat team. I've always said this about my Miami Heat team. We're not more talented than Boston. I'm not going to, on paper, you look at the players, you're taking Boston, right? But when we go out on the court, we see what happens. So I'm not blind to that or ignorant to that fact. Boston obviously has the best chance. They won game 4 in our house. They get to win. They win the rest. So it's different from the Lakers, right? In game 4, if you guys remember, if they would have won that game, they would have just earned the right to go to Denver and probably lose in 5, right? Boston earned the right, winning in Miami, to go back to their house. While, albeit, they've been, 4-5 during these playoffs at home. They've earned the right to go back home. And everybody's pretty confident. You got Charles Barkley, you got Skip, you got Shannon Sharp, you got all these guys basically saying the Celtics are winning game 5. Dave Portnoy even. The Celtics are guaranteed winning game 5, 100%. And if there's anything I know in sports, it's when everybody is saying something is going to happen, you just got to be wary of that.
Look, I think it's delusional thinking the Celtics are coming back from down 3-0. And it's a great dream to have because as a basketball fan, we all want to see it. We all want to see the impossible. We all want to see a competitive series. But the Boston Celtics are 11-12 the last 2 years at home in the playoffs. The Miami Heat are just the better team. And Jaylen Brown, who's supposed to be the 2nd or 3rd best player in this series, hasn't even been one of the 5 best players. This is one of the worst series I've ever seen from him. And if you're going to rely exclusively on Jason Tatum to win you 4 straight games in a row, I've got bad news for you. You're not going to do it. This Celtics team is cooked. Their year's over. People blamed it on Joe Mazzulla. I just think they've lost their defensive identity. And one game where on the road, They beat the Heat with their gas off the pedal. I'm not going to move by that, and I never will. So, Celtic fans, I'm wishing you guys best of luck. I want you to win tonight. Believe me, I'm hoping to see this go to 6 or 7 games because it makes better basketball. But at the end of the day, they're not going anywhere. I look at the Celtics team, and they've got so many concerns and red flags, and I don't think one single superstar is going to mask that versus a much more complete, well-coached, very well-rounded Miami squad. So that's honestly a flat discussion. I don't think there's anything else.
So, like, let's put a number on it, right? I just give me a percentage, you guys. What's the percentage chance the Celtics have to do the impossible, be the first team ever to
2%.
come back? 2 or 3?
2.
2? So, okay.
I'll say 1.
1%. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the record of teams trailing 0-3 going into a series is
they've never blew it. Yeah, they've never blew it.
And what makes anybody think Boston's going to be the one? Is it just people are going to drag the narrative? And look, I mentioned it immediately. That's exactly what people are thinking. At least I'm sure the city of Boston is thinking, oh, 0-3, we're not afraid of it. We've done it before. No, you got lucky. You got very lucky. A lot of things have to go your way. Every bit of luck has to really go the Celtics' way in this series for them to be the 1 in 150. And it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry.